Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another game review. We are reviewing Eternights, a game I just recently played. If you don't know who I am Twisted Games. And if you guys do enjoy this type of content, give this video a like, comments, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Now, we're going to review things with this game as always, going along what story is, the synopsis of it, what type of combat it is, and what other activities you do inside the game, along with pros, cons, and a score. So now, let's begin with the beginning part, which is the story. Now, what is the story about? Well, you play it as protagonist, male protagonist, as unknown, you can give it your name, and you are with your best friend, Chani. So where you two are basically high schoolers, and you're trying to go on a dating app to, try and find chicks to hook up with. And so you go on the first day on this dating app, and no one likes you or anything else. And then when you try to go to bed, Chani goes, sends you another dating app where it is like compatibility. So you ask a bunch of questions, and then you match it with someone. Meet a girl on the line, and she asks to go on a date with you the next day. So you go and try and go on the date on the next day. Of course, everything falls apart. Everyone is turning to monsters. Everyone telling you to go to shelter. So you go to shelter a few days, stuff like that. And then you run, and then you try to leave. I don't see what happens. Next thing you know, you get caught, and some chick just goes over and cuts your arm off, and your arm becomes a sword. And then you basically are tasked to save the world by basically being this evil villain called Umbra, and before everyone else turns into zombie-like creatures. That's basically the main story of the whole thing. And you get your powers from a chick named Lux, and your companions are what you call like her child. And so far you get certain powers from her to beat Umbra. Now, like I said, that's the main story of the game. Now let's go by the combat. So this combat is a hack and slash. So basically, like, you have your combination, your light combination, and then you have a heavy attack. And of course, in game, you collect essence. So essence is, you have two different type of essence. You got a white essence and a black essence. Your black essence helps you with what abilities you accrue throughout the whole game, and then the white essence allows you to upgrade your other characters in the game. So like your party member has like an attack boost it gives you, so you get more attack boost, get more health, more defense, and stuff like that. And your black essence like his ability. So there's ability that you guys does like a lunging sword attack, and so you increase that stat, the more damage it does. So you do that, boom, do more damage. And then along with the hack and slash part of the combat, there is what you call parry and dodge. So if there's a dodge, so you can dodge a move, but you dodge it perfectly. Time slows down to a blue mark, and you just attack. And then you press R1, it provides an additional attack. Or sometimes if the enemy is low on health, you press circle for a death blow, and the guy does a combination move and automatically kills the enemy. Also, too, like this is a parry, so the enemy is like a more melee based move. You press circle and you just automatically parry the move and you start attacking. And dodging and parry is very important because there's some enemies that you fight that you can't do damage by regularly just attacking them. So you have to go like dodge perfectly, parry perfectly, and it will do damage, do a combo. And the combo is important because there's a bar on the top right corner that basically shows the like elemental breaking barrier, which is important because, like I said, your party members have different abilities. So one person has light, lightning, fire, and ice, and like fire and ice beat each other, and lightning and light beat each other. So someone's like, "Oh, you're weak to that," and you have like a 3-tier barrier. Well, I gotta do this. I knock out 1 or 2 barriers off, or if you're that highly level, you can knock all 3 barriers off, and then you continue, and then now you can actually do damage to their health. So what happens when you are not fighting? So in between time, let's say you complete the first dungeon area or you wait for another plot line to happen, you can, well, quote unquote, talk to your confidants, which is your party members. So like I said, Chani, your best friend, you have a confidant link. The other members that you meet throughout, Min, Yuna, Sia, Johan, those are other party members in the game. You want to work with them because the more higher confidant level they get, the more abilities that you can unlock on their thing, which makes it help. So like one person is the healer, so you want to upgrade her healing ability to give you more health. Like one person increases your SP, so you want to use that bar to increase your SP, or you want to increase the reduction of how much SP you're using for each move that you do. That's what they're very important to do that. Along with those party members, you can at nighttime what they call scavenge. So at nighttime you cannot go out in combat, you always stay in the train. So when you go scavenge, you basically go, a party member will like, well, let's say I need contact lenses, and then you like go library, warehouse, or a convenience store, and you go, let's say you click the warehouse, you go, oh, I found contact lenses. They give you a small buff and give you white incense again and help increase the rest of the party members. Also, too, let's say that you do scavenging and you're raw, you don't get anything increased. You just like, oh well, I missed this, so I'll do it next day. Another thing that's important is training with members, and this is kind of key because certain members have different key abilities. Like one person, you have to separate cells from like red and blue, so you just got to put them in the correct area. One person, you have to like squat them more, stuff like that. And one particular person like Chani is very important because you get what you call social stats, which is like you got expression, courage. Damn, I forgot the other two were, but let's say those two for example, right? Because they're very important. Oh, well, third one's confidence. That's the third one. I forgot what the fourth one was. But basically, oh, acceptance. There it is. I got four of them. Courage, confidence, acceptance, expression. Those are very important to increase because your party members, some especially other women that you're with, because you can romance them at a certain point. Problem with that is, let's say you go to a certain point. Oh crap! I need to be level 3 with a certain stat with them. Well, if you don't get a level 3 with a certain stat with them, well, you can't progress to the next stage. And then when you're trying to max them out, you gotta get them to the fourth stage. So it's very important to train with Chani in order to increase their stats so you can max them out. Or in this case, if you're trying to max them with a chick, you want to go and max her out. Right, romancing with her. So that is like the main core of the game. That's what you have and stuff like that. So let's talk about the pros of the game. So one of the pros in the game, I believe, is each party member in your team has like a certain background with them. Are they really like there in terms of like yeah, they're so great? No, but each one have at least a different background from each other. Like one person is a singer. She's sorry for her friend who um who was popular at one point, but something happened in the past and it kind of fell apart in that regard. So she's trying to like redeem her friend. And there's another person like she is part of the track team, but unfortunately she goes and let the team down. Basically, she lets them get killed, and though she's always like scared and stuff like that. And there's another person who's like really smart, but she's always looking for her friend who she used to work with, and then they have heard what happens with that one. This stuff, so they all have like big different backgrounds. They all have different personalities and stuff like that. It makes them, it makes it a positive that each character inside the game has a different personality and stuff like that. And they're not all the same person. I think like the plot wise, I just do like the plot where zombies are occurring and you want to know why you are like going against them, why it's happening, um why is the twist is occurring. There's a good twist at the end of the game. That's it, when you're going through the third dungeon. Like, oh, okay, so that's what's happening. You know, so with that, I think abilities with your companions, I think they're pretty good. So that's what I like to say about that. I think abilities are pretty decent. And also with the combat, I think one of the main things I like is that let's say you're going to a boss fight and you're low in SP and low in health, and you're like, God damn, I gotta be in this time. It's okay if you die, you get max HP, you get max SP. Everything gets max to normal, which is always a good thing. But now, those are good things. What are the cons of this game? So, I think one of the biggest cons of this game is the combat. I think combat is really wonky. Um, like for some reason, like every time like, you go out and try to like fight enemies, like at least at the very beginning, your guy doesn't have his sword out immediately. Like, dude, like you're in combat, you're about to fight. Why aren't you? Was your hand not already into a sword? It's not like a hand. So that's weird. Sometimes when you dodge, you still get hit, or when you want to dodge in a different direction, and your guy just rolls into where the enemy is hitting at. I think that's pretty not cool. Like parrying too. I mean, sometimes like with enemies, you have to be really patient on like when you're parrying a roll correctly. I mean, there's like they give you like a pop up, and it's like, oh, you hit roll in here or parry on here. Sometimes I just think that it doesn't accept it, or sometimes I'm just too early and stuff like that. Um, Another thing is combat. I think very very bad game design because it is a core and a hack and slash with some RPG elements to it. The biggest problem with the game itself is there's no reason for you to explore and or fight no more enemies. You want to say why you want to say that? Well, the main reason why you can't do it because you don't get experience points. Because like I said, everything is based on white essence and black essence. And when you go into that direction, there's no reason for you to fight normal enemies or to explore. The reason why you're going to explore is that you're trying to go for black essence, or you find a special mini boss that gives you like black incense. Because boss fights will never what give you black incense, but if you fight like a mini boss, they give you like one or three. But if you find normal enemies, they don't give you anything. So there's no point of you like trying to explore because if you die and you gotta do a very difficult part that takes you a couple times to beat, you have to go back to that particular spot unless you go to maybe to the next checkpoint. So that's really annoying because like in the first dungeon, I got to these two areas that's pretty big, full of enemies because it's only yourself against them. Like they're only targeting you. They don't target anyone else because they don't have any weapons. Let's say you get directed up to a small area, and then you lose. You have to go back to the very first area. So that's really annoying. Um, and what gone with that with the checkpoint system, I think checkpoint system is bad. Especially in boss fights, is really bad. Like for instance, there's this inside the third dungeon when you find the boss there. The boss adds a two stages, which is fine. I don't care if it's two stages or not. Problem is, if you dive within the second stage, you have to go start back all the way back in the first stage. Problem is, as well, when you do the first stage and when you beat it, it goes to another cutscene. It goes to like two more dialogue cutscene and it transforms. So that I think that's like artificial padding. But why can't you start in the second boss? Like why? I shouldn't have to start away from the first stage. If I already beat the first stage, I should just automatically go do the second stage. So that's really annoying on that one. Also, like if you have certain abilities, let's say like that gauge on the top left hand corner I was talking about with the elemental one. Let's say that you accrued all the way to the max, and then you died, it resets. So you have zero gauge, and your ability bar. You have if your player the ability bar like more combos does it faster. The gauge goes up. Like you do that lunging attacking move, something like sword stuff like that. They also get resets. So that's all the way maxed out. So that's also really annoying when you have all that maxed out, but you lose everything. Doesn't make any sense why you lose that. Also, too, I think the ending basically sucks. As a cliffhanger ending where there's a twist in the ending. I'm not going to say what it is, but there's a twist ending to it, and I think it's a very frustrating ending. It tells you what's supposed to happen, and then just never does. Maybe I skipped the ending on purpose, on accident, stuff like that. So, I think that is a key issue with the game. In that regard, and with the ending, it can be bad. So, in regards to the score of the game, right? What should we think about? Well, if you like the party members' interactions and stuff like that, and you don't really care about the combat and stuff like that, it's probably a good game for you. But you're a person that's like, well, man, the combat is kind of wonky. You have to consideration of the combat and what it is. I feel like this game should have been a turn-based game. It should have been. I think this game would be a lot better if this game was turn-based. Don't know why it's not turn-based, but I think it would have been a lot better if it was turn-based. Stuff like that, like playing like maybe go up against a group of enemies and you go and you do your abilities and you do a bunch of damage and then everyone else like teams up against you against them, stuff like that. So that's what I think. I think the team-based, turn-based gameplay this should have been it, not hack and slash. I think it's a nice attempt at the hack and slash, but I don't think it's there, especially when this is our negative part. In the third boss fight, when you go to the second stage, for some reason, to a point that you can't hack and slash anymore. Like, if you like attempt to attack it without like parrying or dodging it or like stunning it in some way, you can't do any damage. Like, you go and you have to take damage yourself, or you have a barrier around you and the barriers go away if you try to attack it. So I think that's like a flaw in the game. Like, you take a hack and slash, but you can't do a hack and slash because you have to do something else completely different. And so, right there's pretty annoying in itself, right there. If I give a score of this game, like I said, it should be a turn-based game. I think interpersonal relationship with the team members, I think it's fine. Did a good job with that. Um, there's certain things with like the plot and what the ability is, how like each person got unique in that way. It's cool. I think combat is good. I think the ending's kind of lame. Like it has a good end. Like the ending itself makes sense, but there is a like cliffhanger part. You don't know what's happening. Maybe because I romance all the women in the game, and then if you romance one chick, maybe something else happens. But because it's my fault. But other than that, I think this game is like a 4 out of 10 game. I think it's a below average game. If we consider take this, compare it to other games, and try to do the same thing, I think one side department did a good job with the game development, but the other side of development's like, well, let's try. How can we pad this game? It's $30, something like that. How do we pad this game? Well, let's not do a really good checkpoint system. Mention a boss fight, let you go all the way back in the first stage of the boss. It's like if you 2 stage part boss, why do I have to do 2 stages for? That doesn't make any sense. And at that point, it's frustrating when maybe the first part is really tough for you, and then you go in the second part boss fight, and it does more things, and you get mollywopped. It's really a trial and error game, and so at that point, I just don't think that it's a good idea for a casual gamer to play, especially you don't play hack and slash that much, and maybe not good in that combat. Of course, there's an easy option. Maybe easy option it would be a good idea, but I don't know. I'm probably making the game too easy. Like there's a checkpoint in between the two bosses. Who knows? But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this review. Hope you guys enjoy it, and hopefully I see you guys in the next one. Peace.